Today, for this video, we're going to go through the muscles of the lower leg and the ankle. In fact, we're going to get all the way down to the bottom of your foot. As we look over here, we have, you can see on the left side of the screen, we have the back of the leg. So we have the calf muscles back there. I've altered this one a little bit so you can see. The gastrocnemius is the main muscle on the back of the leg, and there's half of it here. There's another side of it that goes right here. We've removed that in this picture so that you can see the soleus. If we bounce over to here. All right, so here we're looking at the back of the leg. We're looking at it from the side, so we have the tibia right here. You can see the gastrocnemius sits on top of the soleus, which lays on top of the flexor digitorum longus. And as long as we're here, on the bottom of your foot, we have the flexor digitorum brevis. Longus, oh, it makes sense. The longus is the long one, and the brevis is the short one. But these are the muscles that are involved whenever you have an experience that curls your toes. So let's see. Let's start at the top with the gastrocnemius. The gastrocnemius, you can see, originates up here on the femur. It inserts on the calcaneus via the calcaneal tendon. Let's go back too far. Calcaneal tendon, which is the best place to shoot anybody named Achilles with a bow and arrow, especially if your name happens to be Paris. Calcaneal tendon is the insertion point for the gastrocnemius and the soleus. The tendons of those two muscles merge to form that main tendon that runs down pretty much the bottom half of the back of your leg. These are involved in plantar flexion of the foot. The gastrocnemius also helps to flex the leg. How does it flex the leg? Because it originates up here on the femur, and if the muscle bypasses a joint, then it can bend that joint. It can hold on at the femur, and it can pull on the heel to bend the knee. If it was attached to the back of the tibia, it would not be able to flex the leg. It would only flex, dorsiflex, or plantar flex the foot. Stop and think about how these are bending because I don't have my model leg in front of me. The soleus originates on the tibia and the fibula, inserts the calcaneus via the calcaneal Achilles tendon, and so it's only involved in plantar flexion of the foot. So if we go again over to the side, we can see this one originates on the femur, this one originates on the tibia, and the fibula is on the other side of the leg. So we can't see it in this image. The flexor digitorum longus originates on the tibia, and it inserts all the way down around the distal phalanges of the toes. Not the big toe, but the other four toes. Not the hallux, but the four lateral toes. Its job is to flex the toes, to plantar flex the foot, and it can also invert the foot. Remember, you have your foot inversion. Inversion was bringing them in. Eversion was turning them so that the soles of the feet were facing outward. Flexor digitorum brevis has one job. It originates at the calcaneus. It inserts in the distal phalanges, and it flexes the toes. We had the flexor digitorum, which flexed the fingers. The flexor digitorum longus in the forearm. In the foot, we have the same thing. We have the flexor digitorum longus, which manipulates the ankle joint in the leg and the toes. and the Flexor Digitorum brevis, which is just the toes. So next time you drop something on the floor, you reach down and you curl your toes around your pencil to pick it up, you just exerted your Flexor Digitorum brevis. All right, going back to the front of the leg now. There's 3 muscles on the front of the leg that we care about. The fibularis longus originates on the fibula, and it inserts down here in the top of the foot, the medial cuneiform and the first metatarsal. The fibularis longus is involved in eversion and flexion, plantar flexion of the foot. The tibialis anterior originates on a different part of the tibia. It also inserts in the medial cuneiform and the first metatarsal, but because it's pulling on the same insertion point from a different origin, the tibialis anterior is involved in inversion and dorsiflexion of the foot. So if we have, I don't have a shoe handy. So if this is my foot, if these are the feet, again, we've got eversion, inversion, and then we've got plantar flexion and dorsiflexion. Dorsiflexion flexing in the direction of the dorsum, the top of the foot. Plantar flexion pointing the toes, flexing in the direction of the plantar surface, the bottom of the foot. Wow, these terms, they just keep popping up. We cannot get rid of them. Okay, I haven't tried that hard to get rid of them. In fact, I enjoy bringing them back around over and over again. So, look at all those parts. Take a minute and see if you can name them. If you didn't have enough time, you could pause the video. There's our parts back with my smiling face out of the way. And then looking at the leg from the side, again, we have the gastrocnemius, deep to that the soleus, deep to that the flexor digitorum longus. And then on the bottom, the flexor digitorum brevis. So can you name them? I'm going to move this because I can. I'm going to make it more of a straight line. There, now they all fit. Of course, by now you've named them all while I'm playing with the lines. So you know what they are. Right. Those are the origins, insertions, and functions of the muscles of the lower leg. Less here than the upper leg. The names, again, fairly self-explanatory. Flexor digitorum brevis. I mean, that tells you exactly what it does. Flexor digitorum, same thing. Soleus and gastrocnemius, okay, those are weird names. They're not terribly informative. Gastrocnemius, lots of fun to spell. Fibularis longus, oh, that's the long muscle on the fibula side. Tibialis anterior, well, that's the muscle on the anterior surface of that's the front. So if you reach down and put your hand on the front of your knee, what do you feel? You feel tibia. Well, if you go around next to that on the bone, you can feel your tibialis anterior. Most of the muscle that you feel in your leg, though, the vast majority of muscle that you feel is the gastrocnemius. You can see the gastrocnemius sticking out here on both sides because that's the main muscle. We do a lot more with our legs and feet for running that involve flexion in this direction. When you're running, you're pushing off with the toes. So you need those big calf muscles, specifically the gastrocnemius, but working along with it the soleus, we need those to move. So they're the big ones. To just reset that little bit of foot, fibularis longus, tibialis anterior, extensor digitorum longus, these don't have to be big muscles. The names tell us exactly where they are. All right. Hope this helps. Leave a comment. I would say like, subscribe, and share, but I'm not planning on creating a YouTube channel anytime soon. So leave a comment. Leave a question. Whatever you want.